Hello, hello, hello. Here we are today in the old broadcasting house in Leeds. Yes, I'm in Leeds and I am here with who you will know. Hello.
Hi.
So hi there. And yeah, so we're going to talk today about top Twitter tips because Fran has actually increased her following by nearly 1,000 in the last couple of months, and she has some very specific strategies that she's going to share with us about that. So yeah, we've been here today, and yes, you're getting blocked. Goodbye.
Already.
Yes. Do you know what?
What a
It's only because
shame.
we're so attractive. That's what it
the thing.
is.
Exactly.
They're just drawn in by us. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so we've been here. We've been here today, and we've been chatting actually about. Some of you will know that I do. This is the example here, the Talent Dynamics Square. If you want to know more about that, head over to my website, Creative. So yeah, so this is Fran Parkinson. I'm Una Doyle. I'm from creativeflow.tv. I'm a business development coach, and so I'm always interested in different growth strategies. So I think it's time to get stuck into these strategies. So
Excellent.
what's the first thing that you did to increase your following, Fran?
Well, the first thing that I did, let's see now, I mean, I've been on Twitter for quite a while now, and basically it took me a while to get my head around Twitter. I don't know about you guys, but it took me a while. And then once it fell into place, I found that I was on there kind of posting things that were of interest, or that were promotional for what we were doing. And I was quite sporadic in how often I was posting those things out. And basically I wasn't really interacting with anybody who was on my Twitter account, and it just took me a while. We run training in Twitter at the university, and even then it was helpful, but it was just taking me a while to really get my head around it. And then recently I just had a bit of a chat with one of my contacts from Graphic, who basically was talking about his use of Twitter and just how it's all about sort of connecting with people and interacting. So I think really that one of the main things that I've done differently, Una, is to just start interacting more with people on Twitter.
Well, that's very apt actually, because we just had a question saying, what is your Twitter handle?
Great.
So if you want to say what your Twitter handle is?
I certainly will. My Twitter handle is @FranParkinson1. Una, do you want to mention yours here?
Like Fran is the same as here, so it's @CreativeFlowTV. Yeah. Hi there in crew.
Hi from crew.
So yeah, great. And please, if you have any specific questions about using Twitter to grow your business, then please ask those as well. So great. So basically, you have got more interaction, and so what does that interaction look like?
Okay. What does it look like? Well, basically, for me, it's all about showing an interest in the people who have chosen to follow you. So it's all about, once somebody follows you, checking out their profile, checking out what they do, and then responding to that, either thanking them for following, or if somebody retweets your content or favourites your content, then it's just all about sort of thanking them and I've been quite sort of maybe personal, I suppose, in my responses. So, for example, yesterday I was followed by somebody who had pictures of dogs on her profile, so I just went back to say, oh, lovely dog pictures, thank you ever so much for following, tell me more about what you do. And just really it's more than just thanking people, it's about asking questions to try and get them to interact back, so that it just helps to increase that engagement.
And actually, can I just say, it was through Twitter interaction and Periscope that I'm here today.
That's correct. and it hasn't been long that we've been connected on Twitter.
No,
so
it's only a matter of weeks, actually.
Absolutely.
And I was in the area today for something else, and I saw Fran pop up on Twitter, and I went, oh, Fran's in Leeds. I used to live in Leeds. I like any excuse to go to Leeds. So yeah, there we are. So welcome to those of you who just joined us. I'm Una Doyle. I'm from Creative Flow TV. I'm a business development coach, and this is Fran Parkinson. And so Fran's telling us about Twitter tips. So the first one we've got is all about interaction, and that's how I came to be here today.
Right.
So fantastic. So tell us more about what's another tip then that has worked for you.
Okay.
in growing your Twitter following.
Absolutely. So I mentioned just a bit before for the new people who are following now that a couple of months ago I met up with a friend of mine, Damien from Graphic, and one of the things that he asked was whether I had my own Twitter hashtag hour. I didn't have at that stage, but he was saying, why don't you set up your own hour that you can interact with others, because it's a really great way of increasing your following. So as a result of that conversation, I've now set up hashtag Enterprise Hub Chat, which takes place every Friday, 12 till 1, and that's been a really great way of sort of engaging with Twitter followers and helping to get their name out there as well. And again, it's just another really good way of increasing your following, and I've just found that more people have been sort of following me and interacting with me as a result of that hashtag hour.
So I'm curious about this, because how much does it take you to actually run that hour? So is it just the hour of that time, or do you have to do preparation and planning around it? How much time does it take to promote it and things like that?
Yeah. That's a really good question. In terms of the promotion, I would say that it's not. It doesn't take too long. I mean, it depends on what tools you use with Twitter. I mean, one of the things that Una and I have been talking about today is all about scheduling your content, and there are various tools that you can use to do that. Things like Hootsuite and Edgar we've been talking about today as a possible couple of tools. So you could use your accounts there to schedule your content to promote your hashtag hour, because you know that it takes place at a regular time every week, so you can pop that on there. However, for the hour itself, you do really need to be engaged and interactive with that hour. It's better really, because you're actually hosting the hour. You need to be responding to things as they come through and retweeting things out, and so it can take a bit of time, but to be honest, I think it's time well spent if it's all helping to increase your following and really getting your name out there. Then I think it's time worth investing in.
Great. And I suppose it would be helpful for people to really pinpoint what's different about their hour than all the other hours that are out there. So I know, because I know I've been involved in some ones. When I say involved, I've taken part in some hashtag hours where they've been more around a location.
Yes.
So for people who might be interested in coming on to now give me the hashtag again, Enterprise
Hub Chat.
Enterprise Hub Chat. Okay. So what is the focus of that hour?
To be honest, the focus for us, the main focus in setting up the hour was all about helping our clients to interact. I head up the Enterprise and Innovation Hub at Leeds Beckett University, and I support about 180 businesses, a lot of startup companies and many of whom are based in office space at different locations. So the aim was really to get my clients to interact. However, I've opened that up more widely as a means of getting other businesses to interact, and really it's just an opportunity for people to come and interact with each other and to get their name out there and to be able to promote their businesses. But I think if you are setting up a Twitter hashtag hour, I think Una's point is a really good one, that you do need to really think about what you're using that hashtag hour for. You really need to think about how you can differentiate your hashtag hour from what's out there already, and how you can really make it stand out so that people will want to come and join in.
I think the other thing perhaps to consider is how can you leverage that effectively by tapping into other people's hashtag hours. So what's going to be complementary, what's already out there that you can maybe not quite piggyback off, but just interact and get to know those people and create those relationships so that you can actually cross-promote. So you do see that happening a bit, don't you? Where people are promoting each other's hour, hashtag hours. So
absolutely. I mean, we're all about collaboration, really, and I think that's a great tip. And I think if you can interact on those hashtag hours, as long as there's no conflict in terms of the time when you're running your hashtag hour, you'll often find that people will be really happy to promote your hour out, because you're promoting their hour out, and it really is just about building up that interaction and engagement. And again, you see the more that you build up that interaction, the more that your following will grow. Your name is getting out there, not just on your own Twitter hashtag hour, but on other people's as well.
Fantastic. All right, tip number 3.
Tip number 3, goodness. Right, okay, so we've talked about interacting, we've talked about responding. I mean, one of the other things I would say in terms of the interactions that I think is really effective, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, Una, but things like video responses and video replies. There are not many people out there.
Okay, this really interested me
Yeah.
when Fran said this, and I didn't ask her about this actually, so this is all new to me. She hasn't said, what she's telling you now to me before. So tell me about these video responses, because I love video. It's great. Put me in front of the camera, I'm very happy. So how does that work?
I mean, basically, it's great. You can, if somebody follows you or retweets your content, rather than responding with a tweet, which is what most people might be inclined to do, you basically record your response. So you would say, thank you very much to whoever, but you do it by video. People are just not expecting it, and it does cause people to really sit up and take notice.
Wow.
Again, Damien Nelson at Degraphic has been really big on this, so he will often respond with a video, and I just think it's really great. People just don't expect it at all.
So I've got a question on that.
Yeah.
Does it actually show up as a video thumbnail in people's feed, or does it show up as a link?
It shows up as a video thumbnail, so you can see.
Okay, I'm excited.
You can see.
And you do that in Twitter?
Play. You can do that in Twitter. You can do
Awesome.
that in Twitter. Absolutely, yeah, it's brilliant. So,
okay, I'm going to be doing that. So if anyone wants to go follow me at Creative Flow TV and say that you were on this Periscope or you've watched the replay, then do that, and I will say hi to you.
Just if you just use your iPhone or whatever to video yourself and then just upload it to the tweet, that's all you need to do. And again, but I would really recommend that if you are doing that, just make sure you're getting those hashtags in there as well when you're tweeting that video out, to make sure again that you're widening the influence that you have.
Of course. Okay, that's really exciting. I'm kind of like,
tip.
okay, I haven't heard of this before, so yeah, I like that idea.
Cool.
I'm Okay, tip number 4.
Tip number 4, well, I would say that tip number 4 is here we are on Periscope. Periscope is a brilliant app. I'm sure that we're probably preaching to the converted already for anybody who's on here. But again, it's just another way. I don't know if you've done a scope yet. In fact, the people who are following now, do you want to just indicate, have you done any Periscopes already? Are you new to Periscope? And how do you find Periscope? It would be really interesting to gauge your thoughts on Periscope as a method for promoting your business. I was introduced to Periscope again, it was a couple of months ago, and again this has been another way of helping to promote my following on Twitter, because my username on here at Fran Parkinson1 is the same as my Twitter handle. Basically, I've done about 12 scopes now. I think this is my 12th. And again, it's just another good way of promoting your services, getting your name out there, and encouraging people to follow up and connect with you on Twitter as well.
I think it's a great way to add value.
Definitely.
And it's so instant. The fact that we've had this meeting, we've been talking about, what Fran does, we talked about what I did, and, some potential collaborations in the future. And I said to Fran when we were coming over, because we met because of Periscope and Twitter, I said, hey, why don't we do a scope when we're together? And we didn't even know until a few minutes ago what the scope was going to be about. And then I was saying to Fran, well, what have you been scoping about? And when she said, oh, well, I did this, I thought, great, yeah, let's do this. I'll interview you on that. And I guess that's the other thing with, either by meeting up with people in person or by using Blab, and I haven't used it myself yet. Yeah, exactly. If you haven't seen that, then look up Blab, where you can actually do Periscopes with people that you're not in the same room with. And yeah, I think that's going to be a great way again to just add value and to be able to share that value. And of course, you can repurpose that content. So if you record, if you download your Periscopes, upload them to YouTube, and then schedule them into your social media, you can have that content adding value again and again and again. Because obviously, people, the stream goes by so fast these days on Twitter. That you want to make the most of it, really, don't you?
Definitely. That's really good advice. Fantastic. Great.
Awesome. See, interacting.
Perfect.
So, we're on to tip number 5 then, aren't we?
We're on to tip number 5.
You do have a number 5, don't you?
I have a number 5. Before we go on to tip number 5, though, can I just encourage anybody who's following this scope at the moment, if you could please share this out to your followers so that more people can benefit from this advice, that would be fantastic. If you're not sure how to share, basically you just need to pull the screen across if you're on an iPhone, pull the screen up if you're on Android, and then just click to share out to your followers and to share onto Twitter. That'd be great. If you're listening to this scope now and that you kind of agree with what we're saying and you think, if this is helpful for you, then if you want to send some hearts, that would be fantastic as well. That'd be great. So again, it's all about interaction, Una.
It is,
it's
absolutely. Yeah, we've had a few hearts. I was going to comment on them, but you were midstream, so
that's fine. Thank you very much to anybody today.
Yes, thanks for the hearts we've had.
Who has sent us some hearts. That's really appreciated. That's brilliant. Okay, so tip number 5 in terms of increasing your Twitter following. Actually, it's about using other platforms for this, and one of the platforms that I wanted to mention was Instagram. I set up an Instagram account for myself quite recently, actually. I must be one of the very few people who wasn't already using Instagram much, but I don't know whether...
I'm with you on that one, actually.
Fine.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that as a platform for promoting my business now, and just anyway, it's very visual. It's all about sharing photos and images, and it's a great platform to be on. I would really recommend, if you're using Instagram, that when you're posting images that you include hashtags, because it'll get picked up in terms of following again, and it'll just really help you to grow your following that way. Also make sure that you include your Twitter handles on there as well. Hi Damien, how are you? Hello, are you all right? Thank you ever so much for sharing with your followers. You've had a few mentions during this scope.
You have.
So you've been quite instrumental in terms
Hi,
of
Damien.
increasing my Twitter following.
You definitely need to watch the replay on this one.
Yeah, definitely. So Instagram is just another really great way of being able to increase your following as well. In fact, I've just set one up as well for the Enterprise and Innovation Hub, which is Enterprise Hub Leeds. So for anybody who's on Instagram, if you want to have a look on there, then you'll be able to see the kind of things that I'm sharing out of there at the moment. It's quite new, so there will be some more images being shared from there shortly.
So I've got a question on Instagram, and I have thought about Instagram, and I think I probably have set up, I probably have got an account set up on Instagram, but I just never use it. And I have wondered because, like because I work with a lot of creative business owners, a lot of them are very visual because they're very creative, very big picture thinkers, and I have thought, well, maybe I should do more on Instagram. But so tell me, what's the connection then between you posting on Instagram and growing your Twitter followers?
Absolutely.
How does that work?
If you're posting on Instagram, it gives you the option to share out to other social media platforms, so you can share out to Twitter.
I didn't know
and
that.
when you have your hashtags on there and your Twitter handles and you're sharing out to Twitter, again, it's just getting your message out there via other means. So anybody who's following you on Twitter will then get drawn into Instagram, and then anybody on Instagram, if you're sharing it out via there, will be able
makes
to
sense now.
follow you on Twitter as well, and to connect with the posts that you're putting on there too. So again, it's just
fantastic.
using your social media platforms to the best of your ability.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is like the integration of different platforms, but also I think we have to be mindful of what works best where.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's the thing, is just to make sure that we're adding value in each place.
Definitely.
And I think, it's funny actually, environment is something I talk about quite a lot with my clients. It's not something we've talked about today, but like one of the things that happens with in working with the talent dynamics energies that work with people is actually creating spaces for each of those energies for them to do different tasks. And so we actually help them to structure the time according to what they're doing and where they do it. And it might literally be you turn your chair around and you're facing a different direction and you have access to different things, or it could be an entirely different room or even an entirely different location. So environment is really important, and I think that applies, if you think about it, if you're in a nightclub, no one's going to be sat there reading a book.
No.
But when you go into a library, everybody just hushes down and it goes very quiet. And so environment really plays a part in how we behave. Yeah. And so I think that applies just as much to the different social media platforms. So Instagram is one I don't really know because I've not spent very much time there, but I know kind of what I want to do on Twitter versus Facebook versus LinkedIn, because they're the ones I tend to use the most.
Absolutely.
So I guess be mindful of that, but take advantage of the opportunities to kind of cross-promote and to be able to share and repurpose content, because even for those of us that love creating content, and I love creating content, there's a limit to how much we can do.
Yes.
We need to make sure that we're both adding value and we're leveraging that value effectively.
Absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, great. Well, listen, thank you everybody who's chimed in here today. Please, you can follow Fran at Fran Parkinson 1, both here on Periscope and on Twitter, and myself, Creative Flow TV. If you haven't followed me on here yet, swipe right and click the button, and also it's the same on Twitter. And please do, tweet at either of us. We'd love to hear from you, and we promise to reply.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to say goodbye for now. So this has been a first for us, doing a quick joint Periscope. So I know my camera work hasn't been brilliant, but I trust that the content has been helpful for you. I know I've enjoyed it, and it has actually been helpful for me as well. So thank you very much, Fran.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, and I hope you found it helpful.
Yes,
Good
absolutely.
To see you all. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.